occurred. Doris Burke will be reporting from the sidelines. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. And guys, taking a look at Paul George, what will we see from him?
Well, he's an exciting young player. Almost 6'10", great athleticism, length, dynamic finisher at the rim, and he can guard multiple positions defensively.
And you know what, Steve? His growth defensively has been just as impressive. He uses that length to great advantage, contesting shots and coming away with deflections and steals.
We've got an Eastern Conference battle ready to get rolling, and the Chicago crowd wants some love from their Bulls. They went to Indiana for their last meeting with the Pacers and came out with a win.
And they did just what you have to do as a road team, guys. They never allowed any momentum to build up against them. It seemed like every time they took a punch, they had a counter.
You'll like this, Steve. Reverse spurtability, we call that.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Yes, Frank Vogel and I got a chance to talk for a bit. He talked about their first meeting on the year and how his team wasn't at their sharpest in the defensive end. He said that if they wanted to even this series up at one apiece, they would have to play good team defense and help on rotations. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Thanks, Doris. And as Doris provided the details, guys, the way they plan to attack defensively will be key early on, won't it?
Yeah, and early is the key word there, Kevin. If they can string together some stops right away, I think it'll really set the tone.
Which is just what they're going to be after, guys. They'd love to turn this into a defensive battle.
Stevenson dishes to Hill. Kicks to Stevenson. Stevenson off the pick from Scola. Scola sets a screen for Stevenson. Scola. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
It's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
The Bulls leading by 4. Rose kicks to Muhammad. Here's the monster. And again, no good by Chicago.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss. Yeah, he put himself in great position to finish that break off, guys.
Yep, right to the rack.
Rose passes to the monster. Dishes it to Muhammad. The kick out to Rose. Bulls moving the ball around. Shoots from 12. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, a big part of why the Pacers were able to take the Central, as you were saying, Clark, they were so dominant within their division.
Well, they went 13-3 against their division, so not an easy thing to do. Although, if you look at the Central, it was down last year. Derrick Rose's injury, but also rebuilding teams in Milwaukee and Detroit and Cleveland. But the Pacers did what they needed to do.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Gibson comes in for Luol Deng. And it's Dunleavy in for Jimmy Butler. Both free throws good from the monster.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin. I mean, desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
C.J. Watson, he's checked in for George Hill. Both free throws good from the monster.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. A tough team in a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
Watson kicks to George. Feeds it to Watson. It's good from long range.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Heinrich outside. The monster. Gibson inside. And he banks in the layup. Gibson's got his first basket. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Given it's a big, strong, kind of old school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
There's the pass to the monster. The feed to Muhammad. Ball's knocked loose. Just 5 to shoot. And here's the fast break. Watson leading the way. And the shot is good. Stevenson's got his second bucket.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
Now the Pacers moving it up. The finish. Finishes the break with a slam. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Pacers.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught them off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And we're also seeing a lot of fast break hoops, so this team doing a nice job getting easy points.
Heinrich passes to the monster. Fires from deep. It's hauled in by Watson.
And, you know, you talk about Frank Vogel, guys, and the Pacers. It seemed he won over his roster from the moment he took over. He placed a lot of confidence and trust in his players, and most importantly, brought a breath of positivity and positive energy to that locker room and to that team.
And back to Vogel, he really helped instill the identity of this Pacers team of toughness and defense, and Steve, that willingness to battle.
And that's a perfect fit with their personnel. The way he motivates this team to defend and play with that edge. I just love this group, the Pacers team, the talent, along with Frank Vogel. Just a really nice fit.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Mahima. And it's West in for Luis Scola.
Don't take your eyes off of him because he can make plays from multiple spots on the floor. Put the isolated cam on him.
Last outing for Chicago, they won that game against the Raptors in Toronto.
And it was the role players in that game, Kevin, that really led the charge. The guys who normally don't score a lot, they came in and really contributed.
A total team performance, Steve, the kind you need if you're going to win on the opponent's home floor.
You know, they've been beating this club to a lot of loose balls and rebounds here early on.
Love the work ethic they've come out of the locker room with.
The monster passes to Noah. Bank shot, no good. Indiana's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Second chance shot. The shot misses. Good D by Boozer. Here's Dunleavy, looking for his first basket still in this one. He feeds it to Heinrich. 1 second left. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. For Chicago, they have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances. The first free throw is good, and Indiana making a change here. No good on the second free throw. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. It's your...
Coming up next Monday night.
Go up to... Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a win against Milwaukee.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. The monster out there with Taj Gibson. And it's Murphy in at the 5, down low. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to life to the table.
George dishes to Hill. On the wing, Granger. Shot clock at 6. Steps back and fires. That's good on the jump shot. And the Pacers lead by 6. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Pass to Rose. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, the monster in that last game against the Raptors was simply terrific. He had 35 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. He was a big factor in helping the team come out ahead and continue their great play.
Thanks, Doris, for revisiting what was an astounding performance, Clark.
It clearly was one of those games that when we look back on his career, this game will be right there among the best ever that he's played.
Well, he was in the zone from the outset. It was just one of those games where he was feeling it. Everything was going his way, and he attacked, and that's what I like. Once he knew it was his night, he just attacked relentlessly.
The second chance effort. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. Some changes for Indiana. Noah comes in for Taj Gibson, and it's Dang in for Jimmy Butler.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Phibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too. And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Yeah, what a beautiful connection on that play.
Go back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago. It is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them, and Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
The Pacers making a switch here. West is checked in. Here's the monster. No good. Excellent D there from George.
That's something they need to do more of.
Oh, man, that was unreal. Mark it up.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying, Clark, to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark, partner?
Well, you know what the questions are about now. It's their defense, that's for sure.
Rose passes to the monster. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. And that's 11 points for the monster.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
Chicago making a switch here. Heinrich's checked in. Heinrich against Hill. And Copeland kicks to Hill. He dishes it to Hibbert. It's back to Hill. Knocks it loose. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. 14 feet away. Copeland dishes to George. Offensive rebound. West. That misses off the backboard. Bulls trail by 7. And even 3-on-3 break. Heinrich, right side. Pass to the monster. Back to Heinrich. Passes to the monster. He squares up and sinks it. The Monsters got 13.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
And the foul on the Monster. Granger drives in, trying to find Scola. He's got it now. Watson kicks to Granger. He passes to Scola. Back to Granger. No one near him. Nice jump shot. Good. He's got 7.
Boy, after struggling in the first quarter, he's come alive here in the second.
Rose passes to the Monster. Butler on the way. And the pass to the Monster. 6 on the shot clock. Another 3 for Chicago.
His scoring this quarter has been off the charts. And the complexion of the game as a result may change.
Watson kicks to Granger. The dish to Scola. Indiana moving the ball away. Feeds to Granger. Johnson outside. Back to Granger. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
The offense just getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layups. Earn it from the line. This is exactly what you need to do with the lead. Just knock down your free throws. When you get fouled, knock them down.
Paul George, he's checked in for the Pacers.
And at the free throw line, it's all about consistency with him. Same routine, same stroke.
Outside Rose. Shoots the 3. The Monster and Scola with the block. Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession. Long range from the inbound. The shot is off. And the first half is now in the books. Pacer.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
This is the NBA on
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game.
And you're hot, and that's certainly been the case for the Monsters.
On the court for Indiana. George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2. Down low, Weston Hibbert. And it's Copeland at the 3 spot. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
That's a major mental mistake. I mean, there's no other way for me to describe it. He didn't know where he was on the court. That's a basic fundamental. You have to be alert to where you are.
No good from the Monster.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys have played too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got his 8th assist here tonight.
This is great. 3-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
Got a piece of it. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. With this break in the action, we can show you the teams that had the most rebounds last season. Number 1, the Pacers.
Yeah, they had a really strong presence in the paint. Very physical, really dominated the lane area in terms of rebounding the basketball.
A monster, and the foul on Derrick Rose. That is his first foul of the game. The Pacers making a switch here. Scola's checked in.
Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first-quarter points.
And so he makes both from the line.
They got to keep fighting their way to the line, guys. This half, it's been nothing but success for them there.
And their confidence has to just continue to go up the longer their perfection continues.
Well, that's clearly a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look at it.
Not true. The defenders shouldn't relax just because he missed that one. He's capable of getting hot in a hurry.
Outside Hill. Back to Hibbert. And it's good. Hibbert's got 10 points in the game. Going back to the Pacers once more, you knew they wanted to emphasize defense each game, and Steve, they would always come out and get right in the offensive player's face to start the game.
And they allowed the fewest first-quarter points of any team in the league last year, Kevin. That's a great way to kind of set the tempo, set the tone in a ball game, and the Pacers were able to establish that defense right away.
Hill against Rose. Hill dishes to Copeland. It's back to Hill. 5 to shoot. Rose with the double team.
Yeah, he has not established position.
You know, I prefer the refs to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
Well, he's one of the toughest guys in the league to stay in front of. Just the speed, the athleticism, the shiftiness. He is really something.
Yeah, sublime quickness and fantastic hands make it a team effort to contain him. And he's that dangerous.
Mahaney's checked in for Indiana. Hill comes in for Chris Copeland.
He's not going to miss many of those, if any. Not when he's got that much room. A bit of an odd year for Kirk Heinrich, who normally is a very efficient player, but started off last season shooting way below his career norms from the floor. Ran the team pretty well, but it was kind of strange to see him shoot so poorly.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Gentlemen, last season it seemed there was a little back and forth between head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls front office regarding the big minutes he gave his starters. Thibodeau said, quote, "It's never the right amount of minutes. That's the only thing I know. If a guy's not playing big minutes, it's not enough minutes. And if a guy's playing big minutes, it's too many minutes. So you play to win. That's the whole thing. And when you're a young team, guys can handle minutes." But guys, both Dang and Noah missed significant time. Noah only playing 66 games in the regular season. Dang out through the last 7 games of the playoffs. You wonder if maybe they have a point.
They've worked to round out the roster, guys. That should help those minutes stay down. And that one's good. And going back to Heinrich, more of a jump shooter offensively. Sometimes that shot can come in, of course, as you know, go.
Yeah, he's not the scorer that he once was in his younger days, but the main attribute for Heinrich is his defense. Just an incredible defender, great footwork, fundamentals, anticipation, and much stronger than he looks. He can guard ones and twos.
Stevenson passes to Hill. He kicks it to Scola. Dishes it to Stevenson. Outside, George. Hill. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Here's Scola. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. 6 points for Luis Scola. Chicago trailing here. Heinrich with it. George picks him up. Pass to the monster. Snell for the lead. They get the rebound. Bruiser kicks to Heinrich. Pass to the monster. Snell launches it. Can't hit. Here's Stevenson. He's got 7. Stevenson off the pick from Scola. Stevenson dishes to Scola. Kicks it to Stevenson. And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? First in rebounding, fourth in blocks. As far as free throw shooting as a team goes, not as strong.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. The three-pointers obviously have been hurting them, and he told his players, we've simply got to play them tighter on the perimeter. We can't afford to give them these wide-open looks. Kevin?
The monster in its shooting guard. Dang out there with Jimmy Butler. Then there's Derrick Rose. And it's Boozer in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. A shot by West. Wide open shot is on the money. West has got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Pacers. Bulls trail by 9. Outside Rose. Oh, he's going up for the alley-oop here. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Outside Hill. From the corner. It's rebounded by the Monster. The Monster's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Jacks up a 3. David West grabs the miss. West has got 8 rebounds in this game. Hill gets a screen from Hibbert. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. That one on Rose.
Well, George Hill, one of those unique stories, playing with his hometown Indiana Pacers. He's a native of Indianapolis and Raw and Ripple High School. Was drafted by the Spurs. Played in their system for 3 years out in San Antonio and was acquired by the Pacers in a draft day trade back in 2011. And it's worked out well for both teams.
Luis Scola, who's checked in for David West. Rose passes to Butler. Here's the Monster. 6 to shoot. Trying to get back on track. And that one's good. The Monster's got 31. And prior to last season, the Pacers signing George Hill, 5-year, $40 million extension.
He's a good player. A really good combo guard. Can shoot it well from distance. Can run a team. Maybe not a traditional point guard, but somebody who can help you win. I think it was a good move for the Pacers.
And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Stolen by Rose. And here we go, the Bulls. Oh!
Are you kidding me? That was a power punch right there. Talk about putting something extra on him. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, startling that he'd even try that right now.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
Hill with it, and Rose picks him up defensively. And Copeland kicks to Hill. The feed now to George. Indiana moving the ball around. Here's Hibbert. Rebound by the Bulls. Boozer's got his 5th rebound in this one. And back to the Bulls at the United Center that Clark was just mentioning. 24-17 here in this building a year ago. And even though, Steve, they didn't have a lot of high-flying highlights here, they knew how to close out games.
Well, they defend, and that's the main thing. If you want to finish and close out games, you have to be able to defend and rebound. And that's what Tom Thibodeau's teams are always all about, and this year is no exception.
Hibbert gets the bucket.
They had that play ready to go. Well done on the inbound.
Rose with the ball. There's a screen. He passes to the Monster. And again, no good by Chicago.
You've got to like what they've been doing down there in the low post, Clark.
I do. I love it. Their rebounding has been outstanding. So important in a tight game.
Here's Rose. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And Noah with a nice bucket inside. Now here is Hill. A 3-point spread on the scoreboard. Fires for 3. Copeland good. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Pacers.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to to get off any shots.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break. Boy, he's lighting it up from long range this half, really taking advantage of the defense.
And the foul on the monster. That will be foul number 5 on him. Timeout called the Pacers.
It was certainly a slow start to the season for the Pacers. Their veteran and leading scorer, Danny Granger, was on the shelf with a knee injury, but somehow this team found its identity around defense and the emergence of some younger players that may serve them well going forward. You get Danny Granger back with the young, emerging talent. This team should contend for a while.
George dishes to Hibbert. Shot clock at 5. Again, Indiana. Bulls trail by 5. And Granger was able to come back for them for a stretch during the regular season, but eventually had to once again miss the rest of the games. But the team had grown to where, that probably didn't derail them, as it might have, Steve, in the past.
Well, the big thing with the Pacers, Kevin, is that they have a lot of depth now across the roster. And with the emergence of Paul George, who kind of took Granger's spot, they were able to move on pretty well without him.
The kick out to Hill. Three-pointer. And Indiana, another 3.
A wide-open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
Here's the monster. But they get it back.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys.
Things have kind of gone south for them here in the quarter.
Pacers leading by 6. Now Hill. Scola, a screen on Rose. And here's George for 3. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Hoosier's got his 6th rebound on the night. And Butler, here we go, from 12 feet out. Another one falls for Chicago.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
George passes to Scola. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
Here's Hill, and the foul on the monster. That's it for him. He's fouled out of the game.
Yeah, he'll make the walk of shame back to the bench. He gets to watch the rest from the sideline.
The Raw Gang is checked in for the monster. So it's Indiana picking up